SpaceX shares are set to lose close to $1 trillion in value. Not from their all-time peak, but from today's price of around $131. It might sound crazy, but that's exactly what the math is showing me. Quick version, since most of you already know the name. SpaceX makes its money three ways. Launch contracts, flying satellites and cargo for NASA, the Space Force, and private companies. Starlink, its satellite internet network, now one of the fastest-growing broadband providers on the planet. And increasingly, government and defense work tied to national security launches. On June 12, 2026, SpaceX went public in the largest IPO in history, priced at a $1.77 trillion valuation. By the end of day one, it was already past $2.1 trillion, the sixth most valuable public company in the US. Here's what almost nobody's talking about. Only about 4% of SpaceX's shares are actually tradable right now. Everything else is locked. That changes fast. 20% of insider shares unlock right after Q2 earnings, another 28% after Q3, then smaller chunks every few weeks after that. Day 70, 90, 105, 120, 135. Every one of those dates is a moment where a lot more supply can hit the market at once. That's not a theory. It's already scheduled, and it's landing right in the window I'm about to show you on the chart. Where the trend broke. SpaceX opened for trading at $150 a share. 3 trading days later, it hit an all-time high of $225.64, a 50% move in 72 hours. 4 days after that peak, price came back down and tested its own IPO price, breaking below it to $147.11. 3 days later, it tested that same level again. On July 10th, that floor gave way for good. SpaceX closed at $145.30, below its IPO price. That's a confirmed structural break, not noise. Once a level like that breaks, I use a Fibonacci extension to project how far the move is likely to travel. 3 anchors: the all-time high at $225.64, the first pullback low at $147.11, and the failed retest at $171.46. That gives 2 targets, one around $93 and the full extension around $45. Once those 2 targets are plotted, there's another pattern worth pointing out. This entire move down has been tracking inside a clean descending channel. A line under the lows, a line along the highs, and prices respected both almost every day since the peak. It tends to keep bouncing between them until the upper line finally breaks. When that break comes, it usually means one of 2 things. Either the move pauses and consolidates in that price range, or the trend actually reverses. Which one happens depends entirely on how price behaves once it arrives. The second tool I'm layering on top of the channel is a moving average, specifically a 17-period average. SpaceX hasn't been trading long enough for a 21, 50, or 200-period average to mean anything yet. So for now, the 17-period is the closest thing we have to a real short-term reference line. This is the chart, updated as of today, July 30th, before the market opens. As you can see, the price continues to respect the lower channel line. However, that may be about to change. The price is likely to move toward the upper channel line, reaching the $131 area. Once it reaches that level, it may pull back and resume its downtrend. If the price breaks above the upper channel line and then rises above and remains above the 17 and 21 period moving averages, which are currently between $128 and $133, it could climb as high as $145. That is our short-term ceiling. Between the channel and that average, there are 3 levels worth watching closely over the coming weeks. A break above the upper channel line, a daily close back above the 17-period average, and the big one, a reclaim of the IPO price, which is flipped from support into serious resistance. Any one of those starting to happen is the first sign this move is running out of room. None of that protects a stock from a supply shock in the short term. Fundamentals don't stop a chart from correcting when 900% more shares are about to become sellable in a 4-month window. If SpaceX reclaims and holds above $171.46, the level that's already rejected it once, That would invalidate this setup and tell me the buyers absorbed the unlock better than the chart suggests. Until that happens, the structure points down. So here's the call. SpaceX, currently at $131 and change, is heading toward the $93 zone first, with a full extension target near $45 before the end of 2026. That's a loss of roughly 70% of today's value, close to $1 trillion, driven by a confirmed structural break and a supply unlock calendar that lines up almost exactly with the time frame. Keep an eye on the price action. I'll be tracking this chart and coming back with updates as the picture develops. Tell me where you disagree. Drop your take in the comments, and let's compare notes. If this helped you see something you hadn't noticed, hit like, subscribe, and let me know what you want me to break down next.